Climate change in Europe has resulted in an increase in temperature of 1 degree Celsius in Europe in the last 100 years. According to international climate experts, global temperature rise should not exceed 2 degrees Celsius to prevent the most dangerous consequences of climate change. Emission reduction means development and implementation of new energy technology solutions. Some people consider that the technology revolution has already started in Europe, since the markets for renewable technology have annually grown. The European Union Commissioner of Climate Action is Frans Timmermans since 1 December 2019. In European Investment Bank's Climate Survey of 2020, 90% of Europeans believe their children will experience the effects of climate change in their daily lives. The survey showed a high concern for the climate from the 30,000 individuals surveyed, explaining that a majority of respondents are also prepared to pay a new tax in accordance with climate laws. Only 9% of Europeans do not think climate change is occurring, compared to 18% in the United States. A 2016 European Environment Agency report documents greenhouse gas emissions between 1990 and 2014. For the EU 28 individual member states by IPCC sector, total greenhouse gas emissions fell by 24% between 1990 and 2014. But road transport emissions rose by 17%. Cars, vans, and trucks had the largest absolute increase in CO2 emissions of any sector over the last 25 years, growing by 124 mt. Aviation also grew by 93 mt over the same period, a massive 82% increase. In 2021, the European Parliament approved a landmark law setting GHG targets for 2050. The law aims to achieve climate neutrality and, after 2050, negative emissions and paves the way for a policy overhaul in the European Union. Under the law, the European Union must act to lower net GHG emissions by at least 55% by 2030. The law sets a limit of 225 mt of CO2 equivalent to the contribution of removals to the target. According to Swedish lawmaker Jutta Gutland, the law would allow Europe to become the first carbon-neutral continent by 2050. The annual CO2 emissions from coal were in the OECD Europe during 2005 to 2008 on average equal to the year 2000. There are however country-specific differences. During 1990 to 2008 emissions from coal were the highest in Europe in Russia, Germany, Poland, Ukraine and United Kingdom. Among the top 20 coal emission countries, only 4 countries have increased their annual average emissions from coal during 2005 to 2008 compared to the year 1990, namely Turkey and Greece. Many Eastern European countries, including East Germany, Russia, Poland, Ukraine, Slovakia, Estonia and Hungary, and also United Kingdom, have significantly declined their coal dependency from 1990 to 2000. However, the statistics of the IEA give no evidence of decline of coal dependency during 2000 to 2008 in Europe. Belgium is the only European country among the top 20 countries that have clearly declined their climate change emissions from coal during 2000 to 2008. From 2012 to 2018 in the EU, coal fell by around 50 terawatt-hours, compared to a rise of 30 terawatt-hours in wind power and solar energy generation and a rise of 30 terawatt-hours in gas generation. The remaining 10 terawatt-hours covered a small structural increase in electricity consumption. In 2019, coal generation will be about 12% of the EU's 2019 greenhouse gas emissions. According to Global Energy Monitor, plans to expand infrastructure contradict EU climate goals. Greenhouse gases are also released through agriculture. Livestock production is common in Europe, responsible for 42% of land in Europe. This land use for livestock does affect the environment. Agriculture accounts for 10% of Europe's greenhouse gas emissions, this percentage being even larger in other parts of the world. Along with this percentage, agriculture is also responsible for being the largest contributor of non-carbon dioxide greenhouse gas emissions being emitted annually in Europe. Agriculture has been found to release other gases besides carbon dioxide such as methane and Nitrous oxide. A study claimed that 38% of greenhouse gases released through agriculture in Europe were methane. These farms release methane through chemicals in fertilizer used, manure, and a process called enteric fermentation. These gases are estimated to possibly cause even more damage than carbon dioxide. A study by Environmental Research Letters claims that CH4 has 20 times more heat trapping potential than CO2 and N2O has 300 times more. These emissions released through agriculture are also linked to soil acidification and loss of biodiversity in Europe as well. Europe is attempting to take action. The Land Use Change and Forestry was created, focusing on lowering the amount of greenhouse gas emissions through land use in Europe. Some success was seen. Between 1990 and 2016, greenhouse gases emitted through agriculture in Europe decreased by 20%. However, the European Union has a plan to become carbon neutral by 2050. If more policies are not implemented,